So nice to sit in the silence, isn't it? On some level, we could say we're sitting in the silence. But on a more fundamental way of looking at it, we could say that it's the silence sitting. We could say that's the essence of the direct path, which is not really a path. It's the pointing to our natural state. And our natural state is meditation. Defining meditation as abiding as that. Oftentimes when you hear the word meditation, it's associated with a practice that's progressive and you get better at it over time, and eventually there's this final goal called samadhi or awakening or enlightenment, kind of a carrot at the end of the practice. And I mean, there's a certain relative truth to that, but not an absolute truth. The absolute truth is the essence and the fruit of meditation is always here. Always. It's not a state to be cultivated. We could say our natural state, or the state of true meditation, that's naturally abiding and is what we are, is a non-state. States are of the mind. On some level, we could say that even states are even of consciousness. But there's something more fundamental than even consciousness. And that's what we are. That's the non-state. That's completely beyond everything. And we could say the way we find that is just by looking. In the context of awakening and of satsang, the direct path, these words, meditation and inquiry, they keep popping up. And so the inquiry is simply just look inside your experience. First of all, get outside of your experience. Back up into the witness, back up into awareness. And then see who's aware. I mean, you can spontaneously awaken to that, and that's what happens on its own. But if that's not happened yet, that's the directionality of it. That's the simplicity. Just pull out of awareness and look back. And then surrender to that. Allow that to suck you into it. And then you're done. You're back to normal. You're in meditation. You are meditation. Of course, when the mind's busy, and we can have this experience even when we glimpse that, when we shift into that. And when we glimpse that deeply, we do shift into that. There's an identity shift that happens. There can be a sense of pulling out of experience, out of the mind, recognizing that you're not the mind. There is thought, but you're not that. There's something that's aware of that. That's giving a little space in the experience. And we could say when there's enough space, which means there's enough disidentification with the mind, then you're resting as this big field of witnessing awareness. And then somewhere in there, something shifts. And you recognize, I'm not experiencing that. I am that. And so we can say there's a shift from ego, there's a shift from mind-based identity, always changing, always fluxing, into this formless awareness. And so what we can begin to say is, I am awareness, I am the witness. But the invitation is to keep going into that. It's not that you're going to find more specifically, just depth, we can say. Because there can be a sense of, oh, I get it. Aha, I am that. All right. So that's what this is all about. And then we're back in the mind. So this is why the invitation is keep looking. Keep falling into that. Find it again, or if you're able to abide, keep diving in, keep diving in, keep diving in. Abide is that, abide, abide, abide. Let it penetrate you more, penetrate you more. And of course, if the mind is a little busy and has this tendency to pull us out and pull us back into identification, we can do these little adjustments. It can be fine to use these little portals to sort of anchor the attention, which is more what traditional meditation is about. Focusing on a specific thought, a mantra, focusing on a specific part of the body, an energy center, a chakra, the breath. And these are wonderful anchors to use. But I would always invite you, if you do use an anchor like that to sort of calm the mind down, we can say sort of bring you to this moment, always give yourself the opportunity to sit and to rest without the anchor, without the concentration technique. The essence of most meditation is actually concentration. It's pulling the mind to one thought, to one focus. The natural state of most people's minds is very scattered. So it's a useful portal. Bring it into one focus, one focus, one focus. And when you bring it into focus, you can go into very concentrated states of consciousness, states of mind, states of samadhi, absorption. But in the context of awakening and discovering who we really are, it's not about going into a higher state or a state of samadhi or absorption. The real samadhi is sahaja samadhi. And sahaja means natural, the natural state, the natural samadhi, which is the natural meditation, which is what we are as the non-state behind awareness. And the beauty about letting go, using a technique and then letting go, focusing maybe on the body. I like the body as a portal, just because it brings us out of the mind very quickly. When we're in the body, we're much closer to direct experience, to the moment, than we are in the mind or even in a concentrated state of mind. So I like to give the invitation, drop out of the thinking mind into the body, and then drop out of the body into infinite awareness. And eventually we'll find that when we drop into awareness, drop into awareness, drop into awareness, maybe initially through effort, eventually we'll find that there actually is an internal gravitation into that. And that's the effortless meditation. Dropping into awareness, When we get sidetracked, we can inquire, we can point the attention back to that, we can fall back into that. And then eventually we find that that pulls itself into itself. And that's the natural samadhi, the natural absorption of the void into the void.